OB. Obviously, Stephen B. Robinson. The standard textbook for the organizational behavior is Stephen B. Robinson. Maybe it is an old edition, you can find the latest edition. Okay. And there is no compulsory, you need to buy this textbook and read. This is purely optional for you. I'm just suggesting some good books. Okay. And coming to the human resource management, K. Ashwathapa. You wanted to take a photo, you can take, no problem. Okay, this is one of the best book. So many text and cases will be there. So you can, if it is available in library or later stage, you can read that. Like you can find, if you find any other standard textbook better than this, you can go through that. I am just referring in the general perspective. Okay. And coming to the accounting, I am not suggesting any standard textbook because you will not find any single textbook covering the entire topic. Okay. So human resource management I told. Coming to the financial management, you can refer I.M. Pandey textbook. I.M. Pandey. Okay. And for marketing management, Philip Kotler. Obviously, you are MBA graduate, like you know, always know these textbooks. And coming to the paper 2, okay, paper 2, you will get some advanced topics here. Paper 1 is moreover an easy subject and all, but paper 2, little bit advanced. So first is quantitative techniques, statistics or quantitative techniques, production and operation management, MIS, management information system, government business interface. Again, this unit is purely overlapping with your GS3. GS, little bit portions from the GS2, but majority it is overlapping with GS3. You will get questions from what is public distribution system. This is the, like, how they will ask questions, very simple. They'll take public distribution system. How you can effectively manage public distribution system or suggest certain ways in which you can manage public distribution system, like that. So this is purely overlapping with GS, and you can find the questions exactly repeating from your GS3 for this particular unit. So you compare the questions from the management optional and your GS3, sometimes you will find these questions are same. Okay, you will get upper edge for this topic. And strategic cost management, moreover strategic management and international business. So for statistic, I am referring this textbook, Fundamentals of Mathematical Statistics by Gupta. It's S.C. Gupta. If you can refer any other textbook also, no problem, but this is comparatively better. You will get it. This is a big book. So it's a bulky textbook and there is no compulsion that you have to go through with this textbook, but what I am just suggesting only. And coming to the production and operation management also, Kanishka Bedi one textbook is there. Again, you can refer any standard textbook also. That's all. Then MIS by Giridhar Doshi in the Indian perspective. This is the best book you will get for MIS. So remaining most of the books for MIS is written in the international perspective. So it's very difficult you to understand the textbook written in the international perspective. Okay, this is good book. And strategic management, again, Asar Kasni, like this is also optional. So strategic management, again, our printed material is well sufficient. And I will also share the standard textbook. Suppose if I am having a soft copy of Stephen B. Robinson or like those textbook, I am having the soft copy, I will share the soft copies. So first you need to take class notes. Then immediately after the class, you have to read the printed study material and I will give daily assignments. I'll explain you how. So look pretty huge, like you feel like the syllabus is no? Yes or no? Oh, okay, leave these things. I will explain you how we are going to cover. What is our strategy? Okay. So how we are going to cover this syllabus? Our strategy, I think Sham already knows like what we are Like here, it was there, few classes. So first you have to listen the classes. In the class, I will explain each and every concept thoroughly. Okay. So you can take class notes. For example, in class, we are studying about evolution of management. Suppose today I am going to discuss evolution of management. So you can take the lecture note. And what I'll do means, in class, I will discuss few PYQs from that particular topic. We are not practicing PYQ unit wise. We are practicing PYQ topic wise. For example, topic is evolution of management. So how many questions from evolution of management in the last 10 years? So for example, I am finding 7 questions directly asking from the evolution of management. Okay, I'll show you the questions also. So in the class, I will explain you 2-3 questions, how to write introduction, how to write conclusion, and how to write the structure of the answer. Again, you will get the entire question homework. You have to start writing from the, I'm not asking you to write like just study and write your own. You can frame the answers. Understood? It's like a homework. Next day I will check your notebook. Understood? So like this time I am very particular. Every day I will check your notebook and you have to take notes also. Okay, depends upon your way of learning. You can take the notes. That doesn't matter. But I need all the questions in the notebook. How you are writing the introduction, how you will answer the question, and how you will make the conclusion. What is the advantage of doing like this? Yes, grip on the answer writing. And end of our preparation, you may have 2 to 3 notebooks with all the PYQ written in your own way. Okay. So the advantage of this, what I can tell means, like you find one, if you take one topic, you are answering all the PYQ from that particular topic. For example, examination, if they are asking any type of question, you are familiar to write an answer from that particular topic. So why we are not doing unit wise? Why? Why not unit wise? Hmm. Yeah, unit wise means there is a lot of topics in one unit and you will end up with confusion. So now by this December you will complete your optional, right? And again after your preliminary you wanted to choose, like you want to open your notebook, you will end up with confusion. This question from where? It should not happen. So end of the preparation we need very consolidated material. So what I will prefer, minimum resource, maximum revision. Understood? Your foundation should be very, very strong. Okay, UPSC may ask questions in different perspective, but every question you will get a loophole to how to answer. So for that, you need a strong foundation. Irrespective of, you may cover this topic in your graduation or post-graduation, but like start like a beginner. Start writing notes like a beginner. It will be very helpful for you. Okay, this is how we are going to conduct the classes. Understood? So maybe initial phase you may feel little bit burdened to write all the answers. On particular topic there are like evolution of management, there are 8 questions till now. So you have to write in the notebook. Okay. So that's our strategy. Any doubts? Any doubts you can ask. Sham, you have any doubts? You have any doubts? People are not aware. Like there are like compared to other optional somebody. Okay, no. No, okay. So why people are not taking this option? One thing, it's lack of awareness. People are not aware, and few academies are providing coaching. And again, finding the right material, right guidance because of that only. But people are cracking. You know, there are people who cracked through UGC, like not UGC with UPSC management optional also. Like if you hardly in a year 20 people are writing, in that 5 to 6 people are converting. The ratio is huge. For example, other optional like 20,000 people are writing, 30,000 people are writing maybe. From that 20-25 people are cracking. But compared to that, here only very limited number of people. So our competition is very less. Only like 20 people are writing. In that 20 people, if you are in a very strategic manner presenting your answer, chances of getting high marks are there. Why? Because moreover, this content is static. So they cannot ask any dynamic question. Evolution of management is statics. Theories of leadership is static. Theories of motivation is static. From a static topic, it's very difficult to frame dynamic current related question. If you take other option like geography, they can ask any question because a lot of changes are happening daily. So if you take anthropology, things are changing. So they can frame dynamic question. So coming to management, like if you take finance, financial management theory, nobody can change the static part. So that is the advantage of selecting the subject like management, commerce and all. So coming to the commerce, moreover, you will get more problems. So moreover, this is a safe subject. No need to worry about this optional. You will get good score for the optional. The thing is that how you are presenting your answer, how you are approaching the subject matters a lot. You are approaching like a graduate or graduate level or like PG level, how you studied management, that's different. The content is same. Here and there you are studying the same content. The way we are approaching, the way we are writing matters. Understood? So in the following classes, I will explain to you how to frame like good answers. And coming to your notes also, like you have a notebook like this, leave some space in every topic like this later. For example, now we won't cover any current affairs. I will completely focus on static part only. Suppose after your preliminary examination, again we will conduct some value added session. At that time, I will share the respective current. Or for example, evolution of management or management planning, organizing, anything, any topic. When you are reading your newspaper or when you are studying your current affair, you find, okay, I can quote this example. Or you can quote some example of Planning Commission of India. Understood? So you can mark, like you can write that with pencil you write. Don't write with pen. Current affairs keep on changing. You cannot write the same example again and again. So that time, like leave some space after every topic for the current affair or any quotes. Like you can start your answer writing some quotes if it is management. Or for example, you can quote some statistics as per the recent data or recent survey, this percentage of students, like something. So for that, now as of now, you leave the space. You don't need to worry about the extra value addition part that we will provide later. At that time, you can club that in the same notebook. Understood? So for management, you need to carry a big notebook. Literally, I'm telling. Okay. Or else that time you will write this current affair somewhere and you have to take 2 notebooks parallelly and read. It will be difficult. Any questions, Shyam, you have? Slides only, because I am currently doing my PhD also. So one more thing also, initially I need to convey that like normally our timings will be 5:30 to 7, but some days we'll start by 7, like 7 o'clock only. I am very clear in the initial stage. Don't expect every day in the same day. Majority, like most of the classes will be on the same time only, 5:30 to 7, and 7 to 7:30 will be open for the discussion or any doubts and all. But 5:30 to 7 the normal timing. But some days, like few days, I will update you. In those days I have classes, so we will, like I have some additional works and all. We'll plan the classes accordingly. As of now, you will get weekly 5 classes. So Monday to Friday you will have classes except the public holidays. So Saturday is a holiday for you to prepare. Sunday again you have a test series. Understood? And test also mainly I am focusing from the PYQ only. Okay, and in the test, you write genuinely, whatever it may be, whatever you know, write very genuinely and send it to me. If you don't know something also, try to write something your own. Why? Because like in the examination hall, you are writing your own. So initially itself, I am able to correct your answer writing. That will be great. Don't take any other online tools for the answer writing because you are writing online. I'm checking online. So I don't know if it is an offline, though I can check everybody answer writing and all. But be committed to yourself only. Okay, now don't think about the outcome. While start preparing, don't think about outcome. Don't think about any. Just trust the process, follow the things. Okay. So like Saturday again you can utilize for your preparation. Sunday you will get test, and next class I will discuss the answers. Okay, clear? Any other doubts? Any other doubts for those who are joined online? Daksh? Nobody's got, but you can. We should not think about others. Like you think that time no academy is providing, they may study their own. Okay, and like I know few people who cracked management option, but it is possible. Like normally, like if you are getting 270 above, also it's a great score for optional. No, there are person who scored a 300 above. Yes, very few only taking, and very few only there are people who scored 300 plus for management optional. But again, very few people will write and very few people will disclose. Out of this 20-25 people, like 6 or 7 people are cracking every year, but 1 or 2 will give public interviews. Matters. And another thing, with this option, it's like a double-edged sword. You will get other additional benefits also. Like if you are keeping other government exam as your plan B, like if you take RBA grade B or say B grade A examination, this syllabus will help you. This preparation will help you, because there in the paper too, you will get syllabus from like corresponding syllabus from management, OB, finance. It will be very helpful for you. And the financial management will help you in your economics. Understood? In economics, you will study like there are questions this year like from the bond, foreign direct investment, foreign institutional investment, those all things you will cover parallelly in the financial management. So preliminary also you will get some sort of advantage through this optional. I'm not telling this optional is everything, but you will get some sort of advantage. So you will get a thorough understanding regarding finance. So any questions related to financial economics, demand and supply, you'll study your demand and supply, and you'll study related to various investment, FDI, then what else, bond. Okay, these all things are coming in the economics. For economics though, these topics are very difficult for those who are preparing in the GS perspective. For them it's very difficult topics, but you will get some sort of advantage. That's all about this optional. Any doubt? Any doubt for those who joined online? It's fine. Shall I move? Yeah. One more PPT there. No, 2 folders are there. Again. Okay. Okay. So we will start from the unit 1. Today I'll discuss regarding what is management and what is how the management as a discipline evolved. What is management? Ah. Am I audible for those who are in online? Yeah. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. Yes, then. Correct. Sham? It's managing the things. Okay. Management is the art of getting things done by others. So today I will discuss regarding the evolution of management, how management as a discipline evolved. Okay. First you can listen the story, then you can write. Okay. Don't need to worry about the early practices. We just need to follow from the industrial era. Are you aware about industrial revolution? What is industrial revolution? Ah, yes. Yes, again in world history, you will study regarding Renaissance, like industrial revolution. So as a result of this industrial revolution, there is a shift from domestic production to mass production. Until industrial revolution, like domestic production are more small manufacturing units. So as a result of this industrial revolution, there is a shift from domestic production to mass production. So what happened during this time? There is no discipline called management. There is no finance manager. There is no HR manager. Moreover, the game is with engineers. Okay, because more and more industries are coming, there is a need of managing the resources, not people, the resources. There is resources, maybe money, men, material. There is a need of managing the resources. So then people start thinking how we can manage the things, how we can effectively utilize the things. You watch the Charlie Chaplin movie. There is a modern times. Okay, you will get an idea regarding how the factories operating in those period of time. They are focusing on output. They, like industrial revolution, main focus is mass production. They will produce mass and they need to get more and more profit. Okay, so there are people start thinking, okay, how we can manage the things proper way, how we can like effectively coordinate the things. That there is the foundation of management, that is known as the early approaches to management. So examination perspective, you just need to understand what happened during the early approaches. There are comparison type questions. What happened during early approaches, what happened during the classical era and all. Understood? So early approaches, nothing happened. It's not an organ. There is no theories, there is no foundation, there is no models during the early approaches. People start thinking and people start contributing to this discipline called management. These all are the photos you can find, the early approaches, like these are industrial revolution and all. There is any remote to change the slide? Okay. So approaches to management, early approaches is there. So early approach, you just need to familiar with certain names, 2-3 names or pioneers of management, or 2-3 people who contributed to early approaches to management. So examination perspective, you need to study these 3 approaches: classical, neoclassical and modern. Okay. So if you are getting a question regarding explain the evolution of management thought, you just need to write it like this. Any form you can write: classical, neoclassical and modern. Okay. So first I'll explain you the early approaches. So in the early approaches, Robert Owen, Charles Babbage, Andrew and Charles Dupin, Henry R. Tau, these are the people who contributed in the early approaches. Understood? So in the material also, I just give a brief explanation regarding the early approaches of management. No need to focus much here. Okay. You don't need to focus here on the early approaches of management. You need to be thoroughly prepared from the classical approach. So classical approach means this is the phase where there is a proper foundation for management. Early approach, there is no foundation. So classical approach lay down the proper foundation for management. Okay. So 3 schools of thoughts in the classical approach: scientific management, administrative management and bureaucratic management. Okay. So first school of thought is scientific management. Any idea regarding scientific management? You have any idea what is scientific management? It's okay, no problem, unable to recall also. So scientific management, again back to the industries. During that time, all these theories are developed based upon a factory. Okay, those period, no, there is no service sector. Everything is based upon the manufacturing factories. Okay, so scientific management explains like we have to do everything scientifically, irrespective of doing by your own thumb of rule. Do everything scientifically. Study the work, study the cost, study about each and everything scientifically, then take decisions. This is known as scientific management. Okay. So scientific management, like how setting proper standard, systematic observation, proper experiment, then only do the things. Okay. So major contributors to the scientific management, F.W. Taylor, his contribution is very important for the exam. He is known as the father of scientific management. Frederick Winslow Taylor, F.W. Taylor, he is the father of scientific management. So exam perspective, we need to study the contribution by F.W. Taylor in scientific management. Apart from F.W. Taylor, Henry Lawrence Gant and Frank and Lillian Gilbreth, they also contributed to the scientific management. Scientific management is not only the work by F.W. Taylor, but F.W. Taylor contribution is more prominent in scientific management. So he is known as the father of scientific management. Clear? You can note down these two names also. Suppose in examination, there is a question from scientific management. In introduction, you can quote these names. The pioneers of scientific management is F.W. Taylor, Frank and Lillian Gilbreth, Henry Lawrence Gant, like that. Clear? Shall I move that slide? Okay. Let me explain the principles of scientific management. What is the difference between principles and techniques? Correct. So principles mean certain sort of philosophies. Like, okay, how if you follow this principle, okay, we are following these principles to execute these and these things. But coming to the techniques, if you use this particular technique, you are able to fulfill this principle or you are able to fulfill this criteria. So there are mainly 5 principles for scientific management. Science, not the rule of thumb. What is science, not the rule of thumb? Not what we want. Correct. Rule of thumb. What is rule of thumb? How we should decide test and what is rule of thumb? Rule of thumb means, for example, I am teaching. Instead of covering the syllabus, I am teaching something my own. Because I am telling I am doing with my own rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means individual decisions. So in scientific management, you have to systematically study everything. Systematically study the work. Systematically you do the execution. Systematically select the people. Okay, instead of doing your own rule of thumb. Simple. The explanation is very, very simple. Do everything scientifically. How scientifically? In the sense with the proper study, proper experimentation with the proper standard. Okay, this is science, not the rule of thumb. In an organization, each and every activity should be executed with in a scientific manner, not with rule of thumb. Clear? The next is harmony, not discord. What is that? What is harmony? You can discuss, then you will also learn. Correct. It will always harmonious relationship. So harmony, no discord. That time back to the factory. Imagine that you are aware about in factory system that period of time managers. There is a huge distance between manager and worker. Okay. Management and workers. So harmony, not discord. There should be a harmonious relationship between the management and workers. Not discord. Discord in the sense not any fight or any disappointment. There should be a harmonious relationship between the management and the workers. What is the use of this thing? Yes. if there is a proper harmonious relationship between management and workers, it will help in better efficiency. It will help in the better efficiency of the organization. And one more thing, like what? There should not be any like some disturbance in the organization. Employees feel also motivated, also work for the organization. For example, you are working in a company. Imagine there is proper harmonious relation between you and your management. So every day you will feel motivated to go to your company. At the same time, there is no harmonious relation. Every day fighting with your management. What is the scenario? Next is mental revolution. What is mental revolution? Yes, correct. So mental revolution means changing the mindset of workers. Mindset in the sense, create a positive attitude in the mind of workers. It's very, very important. So mental revolution, once again, creating a positive mindset in the mind of workers. By positive mindset towards the organization. So mental revolution, by we have to take some management need to take some deliberate efforts to change or create a positive mindset among the employees towards the organization. Why? Employees are the backbone of the company. For example, they have keeping a positive mindset towards the organization. They will work with full commitment. They are working with full commitment, thereby they can increase the productivity and efficiency of the organization. So it's like for UPSC preparation, you also need some sort of mental revolution. A whole thing is our mind, understood? So you are thinking in your mind, okay, no, I can't do this, you can't. So changing the mindset of workers, I'm not using the word employees, though most that time it's like workers are there. Now you can use any word, employees also fine. Changing the mindset of workers in a fact, like in the company. How the mindset you can change? Creating a positive mindset among the workers. Okay. Then cooperation, not individualism. We in a company, there should be cooperation, not individual, not one man show, not any individual decision. There should be a cooperative decision making. This is somewhat similar to harmony, not discord. Okay. Then individual growth to achieve maximum efficiency and profitability. You may find this last point different explanation in the different textbook. So Friday in the class, I will bring the original textbook of management foundation. It's not now not available in like few colleges having. Okay, I took from XLRI. Like I can just show you if you want. I can show you the old textbook. In the old textbook also like we are again people revised the thing. Okay, from this point you may find it like different in different textbook. The concept is clear. So we have to keep emphasis on the each and every person growth, not on the individual's growth. Each and every individuals working in an organization, we have to provide for their maximum efficiency and growth. Okay. So this point you should not get confused in the materials or standard textbook. This one particular point. In the some standard textbook, it's mentioned that development of each and employee to the maximum efficiency like that. So don't worry, anything if you wrote the same content, you will get the marks. In the standard textbook, the explanation is different. Okay, this is not a big issue. I'm just clarifying. Next, this is very important than principle, techniques of scientific management. There are very few questions from the principles. So principles of scientific management you can use for your introduction part. Okay, coming to the exam perspective, techniques are very important. Okay, first is work study. What is work study? Yes, studying about the work. Any doubts? Those who are in online? No, nobody is there. Okay. So work study, we are studying the work in detail. Okay, I am going to do some work. Simple. You are start preparing for your UPSC. Before that, you have to study properly regarding what you are going to do. Okay. So work study means before executing a work, we are studying in depth what exactly the work is. So first you will study the time. What is time study? Work study involves time study, method study, motion study, and fatigue study. What is time study? How much time will require to complete a particular task or a particular work? So before starting the work, first I will estimate, okay, for this work, how much time will take to complete the work. For your UPSC also you can do this work study. How much time I will take to complete GS1, GS2, GS3 or management optional. Coming to the management optional also, again, I will also do the time study. How much time it will take to complete this particular optional. So once again, time study, how much time will take to complete this particular optional. The next is method study. What is method? You have yes, the best method to do the work. For example, you have online class, offline class, you are finding, okay, for me, this is better way. Okay, for example, somebody prefer online just because they can save the time. They will save the time of coming and going. They will save those outside timings and they will invest in their preparation. So method study, which is the best method to execute the particular work. Then motion study. What is motion study? Simple, I will give some clues, something related to movement. Any idea? I'll explain. It's like a factory. So previously, it's not fully automated. The time this theory developed. So machine A, machine B, machine C is like this. The machines are running. If you are not planning the movement, here the movement of workers, movement of production, all the movement you will study in the motion study. How the things are moving in the factory. Okay, the movement of that may be the movement of workers, movement of raw materials, movement of the products. Okay, so I am finding, like, for example, look here, like first I am moving to D, again coming back to C, again going back to B. It will take a lot of time to complete the work. So first I will study, okay, which is the best way of movement inside the factory. So I can plan from A to B, then B to D, then C. It will be like, then I am saving the time. Through the motion study, you will study the movement inside the organization or inside the factory for minimizing the for minimizing the wastage of time, for minimizing the wastage of raw material, for increasing efficiency. You should study the motions inside the company or inside a factory or organization, whatever it may be. So write the answer depends upon the context. The question they mentioned factory, you use factory. Question they used organization, you used organization as a keyword. It may change in question, they may ask organization or factory, use the word as it is. Okay, so that is the motion study. Here we will study regarding the movement of resources, again men, material inside the organization, and we will find the best movement. Okay, which machine to which machine, or which task after which task. This all things we will study in the motion study. Done. Next is fatigue study. What is fatigue study? Rest. How much time we need to give rest? So in fatigue study, as a manager, I'll study up to what time an employee can work without affecting his, like without tiredness, up to what time an employee can work with his full efficiency. So this will help me to find the break timings. So as per the Factories Act, now you are working 7 days, one day you have to take rest. Understood. So fatigue study, if for this work, how much time we need to give rest for the employees, that is fatigue study. Okay. So once again, I'll explain work study. Work study means before starting a work, we'll study the work very thoroughly. Okay. In the aspect of time study, you will check what? Time study, what you will study in time study? So the time required, the minimum time required to complete but minimum time to maximum time you will find out in the time study to complete a particular task. Coming to the method study. What is method study? So here first you will identify what all are the methods. From those methods you will identify the best method to execute the work. You have to write very particularly like that. The best method to execute the work. Then motion study, what is motion study? It is the movement in the factory. So again, you can write explanation by your own by thinking what is the need of motion study. If you study the movements inside the factory, you can minimize what? Wastage, you can save time, okay, and we can do more production with high efficiency. Then fatigue study regarding the rest. Okay, so this is the first technique of scientific management. Second technique is standardization of tools and equipments. What is standardization of tools and equipments? Correct. Simple example I'll tell. It will, you know, the operation theater and all. Before the surgery, they will arrange all the equipment. Simple. Ladies can relate. If it is a beautician or makeup artist, you can find a lot of reels in Instagram and YouTube. They will arrange all their brushes, everything before starting a work. Same. Standardization of tools and equipments before starting the work. Standardize the work premise. Standardize the tools and equipments. Write things at the right place for the right time. That is standardization of tools and equipments. For example, I wanted to do some work today and everything is mess. I don't know where is the screw. I don't know where is the bolt. How I can execute it will take a lot of time to complete the task. Again, for you also, this standardization of tools and equipments is very important. Why I am focusing on topic wise PYQ as a part of this only. Why? Because now we are doing all units. After that, I am discussing PYQ randomly. End of the course, you will end up in confusion. Where is there? Once you wanted to study a topic evaluation, you may get confusion. You will browse every pages for checking a particular topic. That should not be there. For your preparation also, you should standardize your tools and equipments. Your tools and equipments are your materials, your notes. Proper standardization is very important. So if standardization is there, means you can execute the work very fast. Simple one cookery show, you can see the ingredients they will keep in small bowls because it's a part of standardization. So they will do the work very fast. So what is standardization of tools and equipments? Standardize, not arranging. Standardize or arrange every right things at the right place in the right time before the work starts. Okay. Then scientific task setting. What is scientific task setting? Yeah, not on evidence. For example, first you study the work, how much time it will take, which is the best method. So you have to scientifically set your task. Simple. I'll explain in the context of UPSC preparation. How much time it will take to complete GS1? Like minimum, how much time will take? Like average 2 months. But I am putting here in 2 weeks GS1, 2 weeks GS2. Is it possible? No. The scientific task setting means we have to study the work properly and based upon that only you have to set your task. What is the goal? What is my weekly target? What is my monthly target? So I used to work with, before coming into academics, I was working with Nestle. So there also you'll do this task setting. Weekly goal, monthly goal, quarterly goal, yearly goal. Okay, so it should be scientific. Scientific in the sense, you will tell a realistic task setting. It should be very realistic. For example, you should not put, okay, 200 units by the end of the day, but we only having efficiency to produce 50 units. So how 200 units? So scientifically, you have to set the task. Okay, that is scientific task setting. Then scientific selection and training. Everything is scientific in scientific management. What is scientific selection and training? Yeah. First, what is scientific selection? Yeah, we should take the employees with the right qualified people for the right work. For example, for doing some accounting work, I am taking some engineers. For operating some machines, I am hiring some accountant people. It won't match. So scientific selection means you should hire the people or you should take the people with the right qualified person for the right job. Again, human resource management, I will teach you what is job specification, what is job description. So scientific selection and training means you have to select the employees scientifically in the sense that right qualified people for the right job. And training also, once you hire the people, you should give proper training for them. Okay, clear? Clear scientific selection and training? Okay, the next is functional organization or functional foremanship. This is the one of the drawback for scientific management, I will say, because later I will study 114 principles of management. There is a principle unity of command. This technique is violating unity of command. Suppose, I don't know, UPSC can ask a question like that. This technique, functional foremanship of scientific management, is violating one of the 14 principles. That principle is unity of command. We'll study in the administrative management. That I will explain you. What is functional foremanship? Okay. So functional foremanship means here they are separating planning and production. Okay. One planning is there, planning and the production. So functional foremanship, planning and production, we are separating planning and production. An employee, he will get commands from total 8 people in the functional foremanship. Functional foremanship means we are separating the function. Planning is separate, execution is separate. So somebody in the head office, imagine a factory is in Hyderabad, a head office in Delhi or Bangalore. So somebody from the head office, they will plan what to do. Okay, and somebody like in the Hyderabad production unit, we will produce the things. So as a worker, he will get command from everywhere. He will get command from the planning department. At the same time, he will get command from the execution. That's the production department. See, I added. Yes, this is functional foremanship. So planning in charge, that is the planning department by planning in charge, and production department by production in charge. You can imagine plan this. He is a manager. He is the factory manager. Okay, this is two distinct separate. We separated in the functional foremanship. We are separating planning and execution part. So planning department, instruction card clerk is there, route clerk is there, time and cost clerk is there, disciplinarian is there. Okay, coming to the production department, like production, under production in charge, speed boss, gang boss, repair boss, inspector. Names seems to be little crazy. Okay. So who is an instruction card clerk? The major drawback is a worker will get commands from these 8 people. Okay. Route clerk will ask, did you follow that? Worker, he will ask to the worker, did you follow the route? At the same time, gang boss will command, are you doing the work on time? So worker is getting multiple command. Actually, this is not an effective technique of scientific management. Initial phase it will be, like introduction stage it will be, but now it's not efficient. Why? Because a worker can't handle this much of commands. So instruction card clerk, who is an instruction card clerk? Yes, here he will make only instructions, rules and regulations. Okay, instruction regarding the work. Okay, then what is route clerk? What he will do? How to do the work, which that route, which work after which work, which machine after which machine. He will frame the route map of the work. So instruction card clerk, he will just give the rules and regulation instructions for the things. For example, instruction to operate a machine number 1. That instruction is providing by the instruction card clerk, or instruction to execute a particular thing. So he will make only instructions, nothing that. Route clerk, he will frame the route. Okay, we'll study the motion study. Extension of motion study, the movement. which best route to complete a particular work. And time and cost clerk, again, what he will do? Yes. Here, this all are the extension. These two are the extension of our work study. Time, how much time it will take to complete a particular task. He will fix the time. While comparing the minimum time and maximum time, time and cost clerk, he will fix the time and cost. For example, 20 days to complete a production, and what is the cost involved in that. So he will fix the cost budget here. In this time, with this cost, you have to complete the work. That is the duty of time and cost clerk. Clear? Then who is disciplinarian? Who maintains the discipline in the where? Management level. That's a disciplinarian. I added explanation in the material, okay? And like if you are getting a 10-mark questions also, you won't get time to explain each and every components. So that is depends upon you, how you will frame your answer. I will provide the content and I will explain the structure only, and I will leave up to you how you will frame and come. You can take help from anywhere, like you can take help from the standard textbook initial phase. Later I won't encourage you to write by seeing the textbook. Initial phase you can take help from the textbooks or notebooks or not Google. Don't never follow Google and ChatGPT blindly. For example, you search something in the Google, different websites will give you different answers. So don't blindly follow ChatGPT and Google. Okay, you can take some, for example, you know root clerk, you can search regarding root clerk, but don't search regarding evolution of management. Give me the answers. Google won't give. Okay. Then coming to the production in charge, speed boss. What's he will do? Within the right time, work is completing in the stipulated time. That's the duty of speed boss. Gang boss. Who is the gang boss? Head of the plan, like production department. He will make ensure, okay, all the work are completing as per the instruction. Who is the repair boss? The present day, these are the forefathers of present day maintenance managers, maintenance department. Okay, they will make ensure that all the repair work is completed and preventive maintenance. Before something happened, they will make ensure, okay, all the equipments are working in a proper state, and suppose any repair happened, they'll. And inspector, present day, who is the inspector? Extension of inspector is the quality department. Quality and assurance department, they will make ensure that okay, everything is executing in the company as per the standards. Okay. Clear? I'm just explaining a few things. It's fine. Like time is there. It's fine. It's simple only. We can discuss. Or up to what time? We have time, right? We can. Today only I will give you the assignments. Like day after tomorrow again I'll try to come offline. It's ready. I will share the updated materials also. Here this time once you will get the, for example, all the topics cover that I'm planning to cover in this entire week. I'll share prior only the material. Prior. So why I'm sharing you prior? If you are having extra time, just go through, then you can interact in the class. You can think while we are discussing regarding the questions. You can think about the answers. If today, like this week, I am completing, we will be starting properly from the next week. Next week onwards, proper classes will be there every day. So this week, today I'm available, and Friday I'll take offline class. The next week onwards, the classes will be conducting online mode. So online and offline, there is a huge gap between the interaction part. Suppose even it is online also, I will encourage interactive classroom. So you can go through the materials. By this weekend, you will get all the materials for the next week. So you can use the material also for writing the answers. Clear? Any doubts? I have to stand here, then only camera can. Yeah, that's. I used to stand in left side. For me, left is. Yeah. Okay. Then classical second school of thought is administrative management. Okay. Administrative management or administrative theory, only single person contributed towards it. That is, who is he? Henry Fayol, father of administrative theory. You can quote these names in your introduction part, like administrative management by Henry Fayol, like that. So these are the principles. He didn't forward any techniques. These are the principles could be used to the managers to coordinate the internal activities in an organization. Still we are following this principle. These are the 14 principles we can, for what purpose we will use? We can use for the effective management. Okay. Yes. I'll share some keywords, some synonyms or some like what you will tell for that? Some story, like you can learn the things, right? You will use in your preparation, right? What is the name of for that? Mnemonics, something. Like I mentioned something in the standard textbook. If you can remember without any shortcuts, it's fine. Suppose you are not able to remember the 14 principles, you can use some tricks or some stories or anything as per your comfortability. Okay. And these 14 principles are very important. Okay, you have to know the 14 principle and what exactly the meaning of this 14 principle. Okay, there is a shortcut for learning this. What is a shortcut? Studied in your school or MBA, any shortcuts for 14 principles? DAD, UC, USSR, OIC. There is a shortcut. You can like add it in the study material. So first is division of work. What is division of work? Yes. So division of work introduced by Charles Babbage. In the pre-scientific era, I told the name of Charles Babbage. He only introduced this term division of work. It's not the work by Henry Fayol. He extended on the division of work. But division of work, the concept introduced by Charles Babbage during the pre-scientific, before scientific management. He introduced this concept, okay, division of work. But Henry Fayol, he studied properly regarding the division of work and add this as one of the principle of management. Okay, what is division of work? In an organization, work should be divided properly. Properly in the sense how? Right people for the right job. Accounting work should be divided among the accounting people. HR work should be divided among the HR people. Here, geography is teaching by geography, sir. Like, for example, I can't teach geography. Why? I am not expert in geography. Okay, the same time geography person cannot teach management because he is not an expert in geography. So management. So division of work means in an organization we should divide the work properly in the aspect of what? Which all are the aspect we need to divide the work? Based upon? Based upon the nature of work. Okay. Based upon the qualification. So right people for the right job. So as a result of division of work, a employee become specialized in his duty. Okay. HR. I am dividing all the HR work among the HR graduates. So they will be doing a specialized work in their area. So division of work is the prime and important principle one company should follow. Okay. Then authority and responsibility. Again, majority of the people will get confusion between authority and responsibility. What is authority? Yes, power. So authority means power derived from a position. You can note the exact definition, like power. Authority is the power derived from a position. Okay. Future you all become collectors, IAS, IPS officers. So you will get certain sort of power as a part of your position. That is known as your authority. Okay, every power is not your authority. If you derive power from the position, that is known as authority. Power derived from the position is known as authority. Then what is responsibility? Correct. As a part of this position, you are responsible to do certain things. That is your responsibility. So authority and responsibility will go hand in hand. So authority means what? Power derived from a position. Responsibility means as a part of that position, you have to obey, you have some certain obligations to fulfill. These are your responsibilities. For example, future you will become civil servants. You will get certain authority as a part of your position. At the same time, you are responsible for handling a district. You are responsible to do your duty. That is authority and responsibility. Then what is discipline? Yes, I added symbol. There should be clear rules and complete obedience to behavior in the best interest of the organization. Simply we can explain, discipline means there should be some rules and regulation in the organization. So everybody need to follow the rules and regulation. Discipline is not there, we cannot do the work efficiently. Okay, authority and responsibility. The next is unity of command. What is unity of command? Yeah, symbol. Term, I am giving some instruction to you. Follow like this. Imagine that there are 6 faculty for management option. I am giving one instruction. 6 faculties giving 6 command for you. Which, how you will do the work. So when you are getting multiple commands at a time, you cannot focus on single work. So unity of command is telling that in an organization at a time, a worker should get command from one supervisor. He or she, whatever it may be, worker should get command only from one supervisor at a time. So unity of command is very, very important for the what? For what? For the effective, not only relation. For example, if you wanted to effectively execute the work, you need unity of command. At a time, you are getting multiple instructions. You may end up with confusion. So for your preparation also, don't deviate your mind to the multiple opinion. If you are taking multiple opinion, you will end up with confusion. So in an organization, unity of command means at a time, a worker should get command or instruction from a single supervisor. That is known as unity of command. Then what is unity of direction? All the departments in the company. In a company, there are HR department, finance department, which are marketing is there, then supply chain. In division of work, like he only told that we have to divide the work. Okay, I divided the work into HR, finance, marketing, supply chain. But now we need to make ensure that all the activities of the organization should be directed towards a common goal. That is unity of direction. All the activities of the organization should be directed towards a common goal of a company. That is known as unity of direction. Clear? You can add, like you can draw some diagrams also in examinations. That you have to develop those strategies. That I am leaving on yourself. Once you am checking your notebooks, I will give comments. Okay. So what you need to do means, for example, today class, again next day evening only you will get class. I know it's very difficult. I'm not asking you to write 7-8 pages full-fledged. At least if you are writing in the half page also fine for me. What is your intro, what is your conclusion, how you will frame the body. And create a PDF and share it with me. Okay. I may give the feedback of your notebooks in Saturday only, because every day checking is not possible for me. If it is possible, I will. But you have to keep on submitting your assignments on time. Don't delay daily assignments. It's for you only, it's not for me. Okay, but feedback, because 4-5 students are there, like you cannot give the feedback at a time. I'll give the feedback before the test. Sunday every Sunday you have a test series. So before the test series, I'll give the feedback. Okay. The next is subordination of individual interest to the general interest. What is that? Yes, in an organization, we need to consider the importance of we need to consider or we need to give importance to the majority, not a single person. Okay, that is subordination of individual interest to the general. So we have to give importance to the general interest, not the individual interest. For example, manager need to do something, but majority of the employees are denying that. So we need to give importance to majority. Okay, I'll complete in 14 principles. No, don't need to worry. You're okay, right? You can. We started around when? 220, na? 220, 320, 420. We'll around 5 we will. It's fine, right? Because it is not fine, so we can take a break. Okay. What interview? Okay. Because very rare I'll come to the offline class. And one more thing I am communicating, like the problem part, I will, even though I am discussing in online also, I will take certain classes offline for statistics and accounting. Okay, because it may take a lot of time. In online, I cannot come and check your notebook. Okay, so statistic part and certain areas of accounting, I'll teach offline classes. We need pen, like board. Okay, I need that interactive sessions for the statistics part. I'll try to come. I'll inform prior and I'll try to come. Okay. Anybody? Okay. Any doubts, those who are in online? Okay. Next is simple. Remuneration. What is remuneration? I'll give some clue. It may be salary, compensation. What is the remuneration? Yeah, simple explanation. In an organization, for a job, they should provide a fair and equitable compensation. You are working 8 hours and you are not getting salary or you are not getting wage. It is not fair. So this principle states that for that particular work, a company should pay a fair remuneration or fair compensation. That is principle of remuneration. The name is little bit difficult, but remuneration, the content is very simple. You can write the explanation in the way that in an organization for a work, company should provide fair and equitable remuneration. Next is centralization. I'll discuss with you your politics. You studied your polity, GS2 polity. So what's the features of Indian Constitution? So many features are there. We'll tell now the strong sender. What is that? We are following yeah. We are following both combination of centralization and decentralization. Okay. So that like in this also, like you can add that example here. That is one of the features of constitution. We'll study the features of constitution. You'll study like strong center with unitary bias. I'm not exactly sure about that principle. There is a principle. The meaning is that we have a strong center. At the same time, we delegate the things among the states. So we are following a balance between centralization and decentralization. So it's the best example to quote for this point. So centralization means all the powers are concentrated towards a center. Okay. That is centralization. All powers are concentrated towards a center. That is known as centralization. So he is telling that in an organization, there should be a proper balance between centralization and decentralization. So a company need to maintain a proper balance between centralization and decentralization. Centralization means all power concentrated towards a center. For example, India, all decisions are taken by central government. Imagine, that is centralization. Decentralization means central government giving certain rights and responsibility to the state government. Okay, coming to the state PSC, state government can take the decisions. Understood? So, in an organization, there should be a proper balance between centralization as well as decentralization. If it is too much decentralized, management cannot control the company. Too much centralization also a problem. It will lead to rigidity and flexibility of constitutional study. Too much centralization lead to rigid structure. So proper balance between centralization and decentralization. From a UPSC aspirant, they will expect, okay, you are able to relate this point with your salient features of Indian Constitution. One feature is which you have to find in the next class and come which feature is overlapping between centralization, balance between centralization and decentralization. Okay, next one is scalar chain. This is scalar chain. What is scalar chain? Vaishnavi, any ideas what is scalar chain? In an organization, if you write, who is at the here? Which level of management? Top management. Correct. Directors. Here, middle. And here it is lower management. Okay. So people working in this level, they need to communicate something to the top management. Scalar chain is the vertical flow of authority in an organization, right? Vertical flow of formal authority in an organization. That is explained by the scalar chain, principle of scalar chain. In an organization, you should follow a line of authority. Lower level management having any people having any complaint, they should first approach middle level. Through middle level, they can approach top level. At the same level, top level managers need to communicate anything. First, they will inform to middle level managers, then they will inform to the lower level managers. If you take a college, principal need to communicate something to the students. First, they will communicate to the HODs. HODs communicate to the class teachers and to the students. Same principle. So, scalar chain means the vertical flow of authority in an organization. So, he is explaining that in an organization, what? There should be a proper formal flow of vertical flow of authority that he will explain through the scalar chain. Here I added the image. Like this, we will follow the proper chronology of hierarchy in an organization. This is known as scalar chain. And one more exception of the scalar chain known as gangplank. What is that? Something like a horizontal communication. Gangplank stating that if you are working in the same level, you can communicate horizontally. We all are working in middle level. You are finance manager, you are HR manager, I am operational manager. We are not communicating through the vertical chain of authority. We are communicating each other. Why? Because we are working in the same level. A marketing manager is communicating with the finance manager. This horizontal flow of communication explained by Gangplank. Vertical flow of authority and communication in an organization explained by scalar chain. Word is very important. Which one is vertical, which one is horizontal. So examination, and you can underline these points also, which is vertical and which is horizontal. Okay. Clear? I can understand theory class for a long time. It's boring. But no, it's not. For me, management is not boring. And then what is order? What is everything should be in a proper order, right things at the right place at the right time. That is order. This all 10 to 14 principles are very easy. Equity. What is equity? not that equity. What is normal equity? You tell no, we need equity, we need fair treatment. What is equity? Treat everyone equal and equitable in an organization. That is the principle of equity. Okay. Then stability. I will tell that stability of tenure. The principle is stability of tenure or job stability. What is that? What is the importance of job stability? Yes. Imagine that today I am coming for teaching. Tomorrow there is no guarantee that there is class for me or not. There is no stability in my job. So I am not at all committed to do my work. So stability or tenure, that is the responsibility of the organization to make ensure that the job is stable. If it is stable, employees will work with full commitment. For example, I know that, okay, my company will close tomorrow. I won't work because there is no stability of tenure. You know the case of Byju's. Employees in Byju's knows the thing, okay, company will close anytime. So same, it affected the Byju closed because of other reasons, but I'm telling an example. So stability of tenure is very, very important. Okay. Initiative. Initiative means management need to like deliberately put some effort, or they need to consider the initiatives of the employees in the organization. Sometimes employees can come up with good initiatives. So management need to consider the initiative of employees. Then spirit decops. What is that? Team spirit. There should be a team spirit. These all things are related, somewhat related to scientific management. Which principle of scientific management? Mental revolution. A spirit decops means there should be a what? Team spirit. There is a team coordination, cooperation, team spirit in an organization. That is a spirit decops. Okay. Clear? Now you are feeling though it will be difficult, but after a time, how you need to study? Okay, you need to be in a state where evolution of management, classical, neoclassical, modern, classical, administrative, scientific management, bureaucracy. And okay, scientific management, 5 principles, 6 techniques. You have to recollect like that. Initially, it's very difficult to be in a stage to recollect everything. At least 1 or 2 lines you need to be in a state to explain the things. That's more than enough. You don't need to remember all the explanation, but core points are very, very important. Suppose examination, if you are missing a core points and writing some stories, I'm not telling you will write stories, but that is not a place to write the stories. In my instruction, I will give instruction like that. In the exam, you should not write irrelevant things. So then you need to be familiar with the points. So in the notebook also, you have to write the notes very precisely. In class, if you are taking rough notes also, you can maintain a rough note in the class, but you have to maintain a solid, your own notebook that you can refer from the standard textbook, from the class material or PPT, frame your own notes. For example, topic evolution of management, classical, neoclassical, modern, classical, 3 things. So you have to write like that. Under that, you can write the assignments. Initially, it's very time consuming, but trust me, like before December, you're done with your optional. Then you don't need to refer anything at the time of once you cover the prelims. Once you clear the prelims, you just need to come and refer your material again and only focus on writing. That time you will focus on what? Validation. At that time, I'll provide all the relevant current affairs for your concern area. Then you just need to only read the current. I won't give a lot of current affairs also. Relevant examples, you just need to revise with the example. Again, you will try to write more answers. Okay. Just I'll complete with bureaucracy. Okay. What is bureaucratic management? Leave it. You know how an IT company is working and how a military organization is working. What is the difference between a military? Okay, Indian Army. Take Indian Army. So what is the difference between an Indian Army or any Indian, for example, schools and colleges running by army schools and normal school? What is the difference? Strict, right? So coming to the military, this bureaucracy is more over a military structure. It's very strict, very rigid and strict organization. Rules are rules. There is no flexibility, there is no space for human beings, emotion, feelings and all. Rules are rules. That rigid organization structure is explained by this concept, bureaucracy, by Max Weber. Actually, he is a sociology professor, but his argument is that organization should be very rigid. We have to stick on the rules and regulations. We should not deviate from the rules and regulations from an organization. So a manager's formal authority is derived from the position. That is known as authority. Okay, position is based on performance, and each position's formal authority and responsibilities and its relationship to other positions should be clearly specified. Who reports to whom? Who is the manager and what is the authority, so what is the responsibilities of the managers? We have to clearly define. From a manager, this is what we are expecting, you have to do that. The clear rules and regulations, rigid organization, very formal structure by what? Max Weber, bureaucratic organization. Okay, enough. Neoclassical we'll discuss in the next class. To what time I can discuss neoclassical? You need 5 minutes break, I can give you a break. Normally you will, without break, you will take class. Okay. No. I'm into strategy. I was doing in finance department. Now into strategy. I'm interested in strategy. I'll give you 5 minutes break, then we will. Previously in your campus, it was there in your campus. For 2 weeks ago. Up to here only this board is covered. No, I can. Both hand. For you, which you like, online or offline? This time I'll come in between offline. Like all the problems I'll teach offline. Everything is ready. Materials are ready. But this time, what we'll do means, instead of giving all materials at a time, already all materials are ready, everything is ready. What we are thinking means, for example, weekly, all the whatever topics I'm covering in the entire week, I'll provide prior. Understood? By Saturday or Sunday, you will get all the material for the next week. No, Friday also offline class is there. I'll try to come in between offline for the interaction and all. Initially it's theory. So you can attend online classes, and this time it will be very interactive type. After 5 minutes, we will start again.